Hey guys, welcome to Weekly Pattern Wednesday for this week. Today I'm going to do a simple redheart.com free pattern, and it is obviously a fad over the last year or so for owls. Now, I love them. I've always enjoyed seeing pictures with them, things like that, and I do have them in my house. But this was really adorable, and being the fact that I'm always drinking coffee, I was like, maybe I'll make this. This was really cute. Okay, so we're going to do the owl mug wrap. It's just like a coffee cup koozie or a teacup koozie. And this is from redheart.com free patterns. LW2921 is your pattern number, so please, as I've stated in other videos, go ahead and print this off or use your laptop, your Kindle, your tablet, whatever you may have to follow along with me. Now you will need, based on your preference, you will need 3 different colors. So you'll have the base of your wrap, then you'll have the eyes and the nose, and then in this picture it shows buttons for eyes. So that's totally your prerogative to use the buttons. You can also choose to sew just the eyeball specks in there with yarn. It's whatever you choose to do, but this calls for buttons. And the wrap itself, it says it can be changed to any size to fit any mug. So and it is a very simple project, so all you do is add length to the mug and to just change that up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set my pattern over here, and that's what I'm going to use. So hopefully you've got a way to have a pattern available to you. And I am going to use, I have some leftover yarn here that I was going to use. I think it's beautiful colors for an owl looking project. It resembles what's in the picture, actually. It does ask that you use a 5mm crochet hook. Now just understand, if you change the size hook or the size yarn from a 4 medium, you will get a different size wrap, okay? So just keep that in mind. I try to state that in most of my projects, that if you choose to do different hook and yarn, you will get a different size project. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the wrap itself. And you're going to make your slip knot, of course. Put your hook up. And the first step is you're going to chain 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Alright, so that's your base foundation chain. Now for round 1, you're going to work on the wrong side, so I want you to flip that over. Then you're going to go on the second chain from the hook, and you're going to do a simple single crochet, and you're going to do that all the way across, and that will give you a total of 13 single crochet on the wrong side. And but don't worry, we will flip it over when we get to the end. And this is beautiful yarn. It's kind of shiny. And these are great for all occasions when you're sitting at home having some tea or some coffee. I don't know about you, but I have certain coffee cups that like to get heated on the outside more than others. So these come in handy. Alright. So you have 13 single crochet. Now round 2, you're going to chain up 3, and you're going to turn back to the right side. Now what you're going to do is skip your first single crochet, which is right here, and you're going to do a double crochet in the next. Okay, so you're going to skip this one and go into the next one. So this is row 2, and then you're just going to double crochet in each stitch across. Like I said, there's nothing hard about this pattern, and it is classified as an easy pattern. Sometimes I do difficult ones, sometimes I do easy or beginning, because I have to kind of cater to all of my subscribers and followers. I need to make sure that I kind of keep that in balance and make sure that what I do, everybody can participate with. Sometimes it's hard to do, but I do try to do that. Okay, so you should have double crocheted all the way across, and don't forget that last stitch or you'll end up with a triangle. Okay, so this is what you're going to have now. Now round 3, you're going to chain 1. Okay, now rows 2 and 3 are going to be repeated for the majority of this pattern. So the double crochet row, which we just did, and the kittens are having a field day with my yarn, of course. So let's throw that up here. You're going to do a slip stitch into that first double crochet. So right here in the corner, I want you to do a slip stitch. Then in the next stitch, you're going to do a double crochet. Now you're just going to work and alternate on this row. You're going to do a slip stitch in the next and a double crochet in the next. Slip in the next, double crochet in the next, slip in the next, double crochet in the next. So you'll just do that all the way to the end, and knowing if you got your stitches in the correct sequence means that you will end in a slip stitch. You will not end in a double crochet. Okay, so once again, make sure that you go into this last one right here and do a slip stitch. Okay, so you'll have just a little bit of a bumpy pattern on the other side. Now that's round 3. Alright, so now rows 4 through 23, you're just going to repeat rows 2 and 3. And I'm going to hold that up. Okay, so rows 2 and 3 will be repeated for rows 4 through 23. Okay, so it says repeat 2 and 3, which are these two, which is the chain 3, skip first stitch and double crochet in each. Then you'll turn and chain 1, and then you'll alternate. You'll do the slip stitch, a double crochet, slip stitch, double crochet. Now you're going to do that until you form the body of this koozie or this wrap. Okay, so we did the first row of double crochet and the first row of the alternating. Now you'll go back up to row 2. That says to chain 3, and you're going to go all the way across, and you're going to do double crochets all the way across. Okay, so I'm going to take my stitch marker and I'm going to mark this row, because this is going to be my first row that I'm going to start counting with. Okay, so it's actually row 4. So whenever I start counting, I know to start counting with row 4, right there where my stitch marker's at. Okay, so you're just going to go all the way across. You're going to have double crochets on this row, and then you're going to go to the next row, which means you're going to turn, chain 1, and then you're going to follow the instructions again for row 3, which will be your slip stitch and then double crochet, slip stitch and double crochet. Okay, like I said, there's nothing hard about this pattern. Just keep your counts right with your rows. So basically you should be at 13 stitches with each row. So just make sure to go back and periodically count those, okay? So that's what you're going to do. I just completed my row of double crochet. Then you're going to chain 1 here, and then you're going to slip into the first one. On this row you're doing alternating, so you slip into the first one, then double crochet, slip into the next one, double crochet. Okay, so then you're just repeating these 2 rows until you reach row 23, and I'm going to let you do that, and I'm going to do mine off camera. Once I reach that point, we'll be back and we'll start row 24. Hey guys, I am back. I've gotten to row 23. Now row 24, once you chain 3 and turn. What you're going to do is you're going to skip this first stitch, and then you're going to double crochet in the next one, and then we'll double crochet all the way across, because what this is doing is we're going to now form our buttonhole, okay? I'm still not getting it in there. Bear with me. My eyeballs are not seeing the right loops. There we go, we got it. So now you should end up with 12 double crochet at the end of this round. Sorry. I'm silly sometime early in the morning. Okay. Almost there. Last one. Alright, so now that's going to leave you with 12, and now you're going to chain 10. This is going to form your buttonhole, okay? Alright, so I have chained my 10. Now you're going to come right back down into this same double crochet and form your buttonhole. So you're going to do a slip stitch, pull through and through. Okay, so that's going to give you your buttonhole on that side. And of course you do want to sew these, all of your ends in at this point. And I've done some of mine off camera. So you just want to tidy your work up a bit. Okay, clip off your extra. So this is what we have so far. Alright, so now what we're going to do is you're going to do the beak. And I have done one off camera, so this is what you're looking for. It's very simple. You're going to form your slip knot. Okay, with whatever color you choose. You're going to do 6 chains. Then you're going to double crochet in the 3rd from the hook. You're going to half double crochet in the next. And then you're going to single crochet in the next. And all that's going to do is basically give you a little teardrop type look. Okay? And I'm not going to finish that off because I've already done one, so that's all there is to the beak. Now the eye, I've done them off camera. There's really not a whole lot to make in the eye. You're just gonna, I'm not actually going to do this with you. You have this on your pattern. You're just going to get your yarn. You're going to chain 4 and do 11 double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook, and then you join that. And then you're just going to sew your button in the center of that for your eyeball. That's very simple. And then you're going to do that twice. And you do need an extra button because you do have to wrap this around your coffee cup, and it goes in your buttonhole here. Okay, so make sure you do have that extra button. I don't believe I mentioned that one. Okay, so we will be back now, and we will do the finishing parts of our owl mug. Guys, I am back. Now, the only supplies you're going to need are going to be your beak, your 2 eyes, your needle, your bigger button. It calls for a 3/4 inch button, or you can use a 1 inch because the yarn is going to stretch in this buttonhole here. So whatever you prefer to use. What we're going to do now is where you have your coffee cup, you're going to kind of position this. Okay, so and it doesn't really specify to put your button at the top up here or the bottom, so it doesn't matter. I'm probably just going to put mine at the top. So your button is going to be right here, and you're going to work over this. Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to take that and lay that down just a second, and you're going to sew with the yarn that you were working with. You don't need a whole lot. You're just going to sew a small piece. So to cut you off, just a little piece of yarn. And you're going to sew the 3 bottom stitches, or the first 3 stitches, which are actually the 3 bottom ones here if you're doing it like I am, together. Okay? So you want to match those up. So you're going to go in here, and then you're going to go into that first stitch here. Alright, so what we're just going to do is we're going to sew those. Leave you a long enough tail there, and then you're just going to sew the 3 of them together so that the bottom part stays attached. And the only part of this that's going to come unattached is going to be the button part. Okay, if you want to reinforce it a little bit by going back and forth in there, just, you know, once or twice, that's fine. That's what I'm doing. That way it doesn't come unraveled. Alright, so then see, that's all you need to do there. That's 3 stitches. And I'm just going to gently tie this together again, right at the end there. Just like this. Okay? Take my hook, and you'll pull that through, and then you'll cut that off. Okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to get your needle, and of course I buy my yarn again like this by the large rolls. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to thread this. Then I'm going to take my button and I'm going to put it here on the other side. So then you're just going to sew your button, leave a long enough tail to tie that off back there. So you want to make sure you've got it up in the corner and it looks nice and straight for you. And you go back and forth a couple times to lock your button into place. And because you're crocheting it onto, or not crocheting it, but because you're sewing it on the back here of the double crochets, you need to make sure that when you are sewing it, you're getting it in around the stitches that are actually going to hold it. Okay, you may have to go in and out of other stitches back here in the back to make sure that that happens. Like that right there. I'm just going right through the center of a double crochet. And I'm coming back through. Make sure you go through the center of a double crochet, not an open space, because that will end up making you a little frustrated at the end when you notice that you didn't sew it to anything but air. I have done that before, needless to say. Alright, so that should lock that into place. And then the piece you left back here, and you can cut this a little ways if you want. Just going to tie this the best I can a little bit. I think my strings were a little short, but that's alright. Sorry guys if I'm coming out of the camera, I keep scooching. Okay, well you guys get the picture with that. I'm not going to fight with it. Alright, so you have this part sewn, and then this part's ready to go. Now you have to decide which side that you actually want your face. So I'm just going to do the face of it right here. So basically now all you're going to do is attach your pieces. Okay? I'm going to do mine off camera because everybody knows how to attach. So this is going on the side of the mug. This is going on this side, okay? So what you want to do, I'm going to put my owl face on the side like it is in the picture, is you want to position your eyes, then you're going to position your beak, okay? And then you're going to place it on your mug, but you do not want to sew these on your mug, but you know, you can place it on there and then see where you want it. Okay, and this one's still a little bit big for this cup, but like I said, the sizes are going to vary. I have huge cups and I have small cups, so you know, you may want to take it up a little bit, or if you have a bigger cup than this is actually still a smaller cup. It'll work a lot better, but you have to make these types of projects according to what cup you're going to use, because they're not always the same size, okay? But this is giving you the idea. I have a couple other cups that this is going to fit better probably. So anyway, what you're going to do then is you're going to take and form your face. And I'm going to do mine off camera. So as soon as I get done completing that, I'll come back and do a clip of what mine looks like, and we'll finish this video up. Alright guys, I have completed my owl mug wrap, and that's him. I sewed the eyes on and I sewed the beak on. You have the button here at the handle, and then this part here, and I got a straggler there, is permanently attached. Okay, it's sewn together, and then this you can just unbutton if you want. I did find a bigger cup that this fit much better. But now they're not going to be skin tight on these things. They're made to be a little bit loose, but like I say, I think with this pattern you could lose a little bit of the length here. I would probably shorten it by the last 2 rows to fit a regular size coffee cup, but this is the thicker one. This is a much wider one. And then it also depends on your yarn. It may stretch out of shape easy, but anyways, this is the example. And you can put these on water bottles, you can put them on plastic cups, you can put them on styrofoam cups, but what I would recommend is if you have a favorite cup that you know you use every day, I would recommend making one of these of any kind to suit that cup. I just personally think these are individually based. I think, you know, you're going to make some that are going to fit all of your coffee cups, and then some that are only going to fit certain ones, because if you're like me, I have even bigger coffee cups than this, and then I have really skinny coffee cups like this, but they're really tall. So again, I think these for the most part, especially if they're a character or an animal as beautiful as these, I think you should take a little extra time and make sure that it fits exactly right. But again, this is following the instructions on this pattern here, but I think that it still needed to be shortened up a bit through here, but that's up to you. You do as you please, but the main point is how to do the owl mug wrap. And this is the completion of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So until next time, happy hooking.